Hello and welcome back to the Geek Tech Show, and if you're not a subscriber yet, make sure you sub right down below. My name is Soya Kisamov, and in this channel we do tech reviews and all kinds of cool stuff. There's going to be brand new videos here all the time. In this video we're going to be talking about, is this the end of DSLR? Is the DSLR actually dead? And why I think it might actually get to the point where people are not going to be using those huge big cameras. I'll go into why you should be using as well. So first of all, one thing that is coming out right now that's getting super hot is the M cameras. There was also other kind of cameras, but M stands for mirrorless cameras. There's no mirror inside them. In fact, some of the lenses for the mirrorless cameras are this small. This is a small lens that can do so much more than some of the bigger lenses can. 11 to 22 millimeter. Look at the size, the big difference between the two. This is micro. It's also super lightweight. Now, one of the reasons why lightweight cameras are making such a comeback is that they have no mirrors. So the processor is not doing the snapping sound. So you can do super silent photography, and you can't do this with a DSLR. Every single time you use this, there is a mirror inside here. And because of that, it makes a snap sound every time there is a picture. Unfortunately, I'm out of battery today, so we can't do a snap right here, but you get the point. That's one of the reasons why those cameras are not as good. Let's say you're going to a museum. You don't want to disturb anybody. Let's say you want to take a picture of somebody and them not knowing it. And of course, look at the size of this thing. It's huge. And with a mirrorless camera, they're small. Now, a few other things about the DSLR is that it has moving parts in here. That means that a mirrorless camera can potentially outlive a DSLR because it has no mirror inside of it. So the shutter count could be maybe up to infinity, maybe if they get the technology right. So this mirror is right here, as you can see. If you drop it, this is the first thing that might actually break. But one good thing about a DSLR, it's built like a tank. Some of the expensive ones, of course. But there's a few other things that DSLR doesn't have, that mirrorless actually has. And the biggest one is definitely the size. This is just big, this is heavy. And it's not lightweight, and with a lot of lenses, the equipment starts to weigh you down. And when you weigh you down, it's much harder to take pictures too. So you don't see that many old photographers because of this. Too heavy. With mirrorless cameras, now you might be actually seeing photographers in their 80s and going about and shooting weddings. This is unheard of before. It was never actually done before. But who knows, this is new. New world is out here. Other reasons why the DSLR might be dead is that Canon is not even supporting it as much as they used to. They're breathtaking into the mirrorless world where they're making all those miniature small cameras now, and they're competing with the phone. This is one of the primary reasons why the mirrorless are getting all the rage now, because the smartphone is getting better and better at taking pictures. And Canon understands one thing, that you can't always take something this huge and big to everywhere you go. When I went to a press event, there was President Bill Clinton over there, and I went to this camera. Guess what? They didn't let me in, because I was supposed to be a press guy, and then they have my credentials. Of course, I don't have credentials. I went in there, and yeah, they said people with big cameras are not allowed. Put this back in. So I put this back in. I didn't have an extra camera, and long and behold, can you believe it? Everybody was getting out those miniature cameras, cell phones, and using them. And I had no camera to take a picture because I bought my DSLR, and because of that, they identified me as press. Hidden press. I'm not press. I don't have credentials to become a plus. But anybody with this camera definitely becomes a professional dude. And it attracts attention. That's a bad thing about. Now, the good thing about those cameras is that they always can do what other cameras can't. And one of them is fast lenses, and also super zoom is only available for those cameras. There also, the stop of light here is much better. It brings more light than some of those miniature lenses can. In fact, the fixed lens, there is one that is 35mm, that is 1.4. It's this small. But it's not a zoom lens. If they had a 24 to 70mm, this miniature in size, that would be a game changer if that was a 2.8 all the way. To get a 2.8 all the way, and is small, the technology is probably not out there yet. So we are not there at the age of this replacing the DSLR, but in some ways this is great. Also, when it comes to the shutter speed, when you're taking pictures, you're snapping pictures. This can do a lot and very fast, but because of the mirror inside of it, it can only do so much snapping. With a mirrorless camera, you can snap it thousands of pictures per minute if the technology exists, but it's all about that. It has super fast shutter speed, and the M6 too outdoes almost any kind of camera out there. There's nothing else that can, at the moment probably at that small size, that can do it. I could be wrong, and post it in the comments below if you know somebody that can outshoot the Canon M6 too. But that's the big thing. It is the big step right now. People in older age is with their mirrorless cameras. The one I recommend for you to use is the one I'm using right now to record this at the moment. So the M6 one is up there, but I'm getting right now my hands on the M6 II any of those days, and I cannot be any more excited. The M6 II is supposed to be 10 times better than the M1. It's faster, bigger processor, built like a tank, and it can do lots of stuff that this cannot do. So I'm looking forward to it. I love this camera, I do, but when there is something better, I'm always the first to jump on it. And with the Geek Tech Show, you'll be the first to know as well. So make sure to subscribe to this channel and don't miss any other single video. And see you in another one.